We are live. Thank you so much for being here today. I know it's Valentine's Day, so hopefully you're being able to maybe watch this live show with somebody that you love or care about. Because, people need to hear about this stuff. Financial freedom is no joke, and we want to give everybody an opportunity to get there themselves. So, thank you again so much for joining us. We have Jason, Lucas, and Rob, all leaders within the community. And they are going to break down a deal for you. And you'll even have an opportunity to ask questions about that deal or general real estate questions. So feel free, if you do have a question, please drop that in the comments. I'm Alex Keene. I'm going to be helping out today moderating. So I'll be behind the scenes for the most part. But feel free to reach out if you do have any questions. And Jason, go ahead and take it away.
Appreciate you, Alex, and I appreciate the Morby Media team too, for you guys allowing us to have a voice and get out there and show people that this can be done is just incredibly powerful. So I definitely appreciate the opportunity to help these amazing gentlemen and the people I've talked to in the past tell their story. A little bit about me, real quick. I am a SubTo and Gator student as well as a top tier certified TC. I am the CEO and co-founder of Venture Vibes Funds, where we raise private capital for buying RV parks, boutique hotels, and other vacation type properties. And in fact, we're about to close a raise on our current property and get ready to start a raise on the next property. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then I'm also co-owner of Finish Line TC Services. But fortunately, we are not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about Rob and Lucas. So welcome, gentlemen. Rob, I'd like to start with you. What were you doing before you got into real estate and before you got into SubTo?
My younger years, I was just doing a regular 9 to 5. I've been working since I was 14 years old. Started off as a dishwasher. From there, I went into several jobs. I was working at a nursing home for years. Moved up to a supervisor position. From there, I did security, and then from security, I fueled airplanes. A bunch of jobs leading up to when I became a full-blown investor. I purchased my first property when I was about 21 years old, converted that property into a rooming house, and been going ever since, just real estate.
I love that. Great story. I appreciate that. Lucas, you, my friend, what were you doing before you got into real estate and into the community?
Yeah. So I worked for Tesla for a couple of years, kind of delivering cars, talking about solar panels and stuff like that. And then, so I currently live in Washington, D.C., and I'm a customer service manager for a renewable energy firm here. And I'm still doing that, just trying to do real estate on the side. But right now, I'm currently on paternity leave for a couple more months.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
You can see the baby books right there.
Yeah, there they are. Clear as day. It's funny, you get a manual this thick for your TV, but when you have a baby, they go, "Good luck."
I know, right? Crazy.
Yeah. My son's all grown up now, but it was incredible times. I have amazing memories. So Lucas, what made you decide to join the community then?
Yeah, I probably 4 years ago listened to read Rich Dad Poor Dad. And then started listening to a lot of Bigger Pockets podcasts, kind of when like Brandon Turner was on a lot of them. Right. And I really liked him. But I just, always listened and never really did anything about it for, at least, 2 years or more. And then I kind of came across Pace Morby, and, I don't really know what made me do it, but I just like, hey, I'm doing this. I'm going to spend the money. I'm going to go into these programs. And, since I spend the money, I have no choice but to make this work. And so, yeah, that's kind of how I found these communities, and thank God.
Yeah, absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. Rob, what made you decide to join the community? What was the trigger for you?
I was already watching a lot of YouTube stuff. I discovered Pace through YouTube, and it was the creative, all the creative financing options that he had within his tool belt, owner financing, subject to, I don't even think the Morby method was out at that time, but just so much he's talked about in regards to just owner, different exit strategies and how to add more tools within your tool belt just through creative options. And I personally was just looking for a house for myself at the time. And I told the story on the podcast that you guys aired yesterday, how, 10 years ago, me and my family was homeless. We had came to Atlanta. Long story short, the plans didn't work out as planned. And we ended up in a hotel room and ended up staying there a lot longer than what we planned. So I was already a licensed real estate agent, switched from Philadelphia to Atlanta, got a reciprocal license. So I started doing traditional real estate, working with investors, which I was already doing back in Philadelphia anyway. So I wanted to, one, get my own house utilizing a creative strategy. And then two, I wanted to, of course, start building my empire, start adding doors to my portfolio. And Pace just was the one that I gravitated to the most.
Yeah. No, I can definitely feel you on that one. I remember it was the day after Thanksgiving, and I was just binge watching YouTube videos, and I just said, okay, I'd like to learn more. It seems exciting, and it triggered my insatiable desire to learn. So I was glad I made the choice, similar to you. So this deal, Rob, tell us how you found it.
So the deal that we discussed on the podcast, I found that deal through a real estate agent. About 75, 80% of my deals come from wholesalers and real estate agents.
Mm-hmm.
So this specific deal came through a real estate agent that sent me the deal, but she was saying she had a bunch of traffic around it. Long story short, some other person was supposed to lock it up. That fell through. She called me back up and said, hey, if you can get me close to my asking price, it's yours. I come in, put the property under contract, and yeah, man, we was off to the races from there. A real estate agent sent me the deal.
And did you structure it creatively? What was your exit strategy?
Yeah, we renovated the property. Yeah, we renovated the property. So we went ahead, we flipped it, fixed and flipped it. It was one of them things to where the house was a hoarder house. So we didn't find that out until later on. So that's why a lot of the investors that she had on the hook at the time was running away. So we didn't find out until a lot of the properties, we get so many, people that send us deals daily. We don't really go out to the houses and release our GCs to go out until we go bind them.
Right.
And then when we went out, we discovered that it was a hoarder house, and it was the type of hoarder house, man. It was a horror show. Like, I'm talking about trash and bags stacked to the ceiling, dude. It was, no exaggeration. People say I said it was dead cats and dead rats in there. It literally was. They discovered that when cleaning it out. I mean, it was that bad, man. So that's how I ended up getting that one, man, and taking it through to the finish line.
How did you handle that additional renovation costs that you hadn't prepared for?
So we pivot. So we didn't plan on me. Everything had to go. Everything. I mean, just from stuff just sitting for so long. We had to rip up everything from the floors down to the subfloors and even the joists. I came back from out of town. My guys had to take out all the joists from the living room through to the kitchen. So it was bad, man. So we wasn't expecting all of that, to have to restructure the whole house pretty much. And that's how the expenses got a little out of hand. But I already pretty much knew that it was going to be $100K plus renovation for sure.
Okay. So I assume you guys made a great profit on it. Didn't take very long to sell.
No. We renovated the property. My guys was in there a few weeks. Was able to get in and out of the property, and it went into the contract like maybe 3.5 weeks later, and we was out of it. So we made a good profit off of it. And then I know I said my numbers that we picked it up for when I went back and did my numbers and actually looked at the numbers, we actually picked it up for $275. It wasn't $285, it was $275. So that's where I went wrong on the numbers. And then we ended up spending around $130. I was mixing that property up with another flip that we did where I spent around $140 on. So yeah, we was about $130-ish all in on it. And when it was all said and done, my all-in cost labor, because I'm counting everything, labor, material, right? I'm counting my holding costs. I'm counting my selling costs, commission, seller's assist. Everything ended up being about that $130.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love it. Very cool. Lucas, tell me how did you find your deal and give us some details. I'm excited to hear what you got.
Yeah, for sure. So the deal, actually, the person just emailed me. How about that? But I think it was a result of I was putting myself out there in Facebook groups and kind of everywhere, just telling people this is what I do, and also including my Blink card and so forth. And then one day this person emailed me saying hey, I got your information. I need money for a deal. Can you help out? So yeah, funny enough, my first deal, it kind of fell into my lap.
So what kind of deal was it? How did you structure it? What were the terms? Because I really like this discussion because Rob's talking about what it takes to buy an asset, flip an asset, and sell it. Now you're talking more of the private money lending side of the business, which is a really good niche to have. So tell people a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I was acting as a connector, so connecting an investor to a private money lender. And then so this investor needed 56,000. The property was actually already purchased, but they just needed that for the rehab. And then they were going to refinance to pay back the lender. And I also, as a, new connector who didn't do a deal, I had other connectors that were willing to JV with me because, I didn't want to do a deal by myself. Nor should you, especially, because you could easily screw something up. So I JV'd with these other connectors, and they were able to, do diligence on the deal. Everything looked good. Got the lender, and then we, pretty much were able to close. Now there were some issues actually, because with a private money lender, you always want two exit strategies because assume the first one's not going to work. How are you going to pay me back? Number two. So obviously the first one was refinance, pay us back, everything's good. But with a BRRRR deal, it's not clear on a second one. But the borrower had a property to put up for collateral.
Okay.
So that was exit strategy number two. And as we were doing our due diligence to kind of make sure the deed of the house was all good, it actually wasn't. So the deed of the house that was up for collateral, it did not say the borrower was the owner. And I still don't even understand this story, but apparently like the paperwork was all filed to get the deed in the borrower's name, but it was sitting on a retired attorney's desk. And I guess it got like 99% of the way there, but like the last 1% to make it official in the county records didn't happen. So then, at that point, we're like, well, we can't move forward until this is updated. And I kind of thought, well, shoot, I thought we were going to close. I guess this won't be my first one, on to the next one. But then eventually the borrower was able to get it corrected, pretty quickly in like 3 to 4 weeks. And then, we kind of all came back and was like, hey, everyone still ready to move forward. And we were. So
nice. Very nice. And have you started getting your payback? Have they started paying back to the investor yet? Or
no, it is due this month.
Gotcha.
So everything looks to be on track.
Nice. And so what do you think the most important thing to tell people who are watching about being a connector? What do you think the most important thing is?
Well, number one, a deal is not closed until it is officially closed. So, I know it's easy to get your hopes up, but like you just can't. And also you have to do your due diligence, and never connect on a deal you wouldn't lend on. Just like a lot of the basic stuff that, I think some people overlook. But, just do your due diligence. And if you're not going to lend your money on it, you better not connect someone to lend their money on it. So you have to be really confident in the deal. And also, when you're confident about the deal, it kind of attracts, lenders, and they can see that when they talk to you.
Yeah. I would add one more item to it. And I would say as a connector, you're still attached to that deal till, the borrower pays back all the funds. So
yep, absolutely.
Great point. I appreciate you saying that because I know for some people they're trying to find their avatar, and this might be a good avatar for some people out there watching.
No, yeah, for sure. Because you technically don't need money to do it. You just need to learn the skills on like how to underwrite and so forth.
Yeah, you're worth your weight in gold if you could save an investor a ton of time because you can show them the underwriting. So
absolutely, and everybody needs money. So there's never going to be no opportunities.
Right. Rob, how has the community been involved with your deal? SubTo, top tier TC, top tier underwriting, Gator, any of those other communities involved in your deal?
Yeah. So, in this specific, the deal that we're referencing, or you're saying just deals, period?
Whatever one you want to talk about, because really I want people to understand the power of what they're coming to when they come into SubTo is less about what Pace is teaching and more about the community.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I've done deals with a lot of the students. A lot of those people that send me deals daily is through the SubTo community. Um, I borrowed money from a lot of the lenders within the community. So that deal that we recently discussed on the podcast, that was funded through a SubTo lender.
That is
Uh,
awesome.
a lender in SubTo. And yeah, my TC I met from SubTo. My team member, one of my agents, one of my closers, I met from SubTo. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a lot of my connections and a lot of what we've been able to create, has been through the SubTo community. Just the power of relationships, right? Like it's a lot of gold, just right there in the community. I had did a post, yesterday, and the headline was, how I went, 600 to 0, the perfect plan gone wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people came up underneath that post, and it was just like, thank you for sharing this, because here I am, I'm still, I'm new to the community, and truth to the matter is I haven't, gotten off the ledge yet. I haven't gotten my first deal yet, or I've done my first deal, but I kind of been stagnated since then, and I just don't know what to do. And my response to a lot of those people were, man, you have everything you need right here within this community.
Yeah.
All you have to do is just raise your hand and just let people know you need help. There's so
Right.
many go-givers, people that's willing, ready, and able to help. But how we're going to know to help, if me being one, how we're going to know to help though, if you never let us know that you're in need of help. So,
Right.
Yeah, the community is power. It's power within relationships for sure.
Yeah, a mentor once told me, never underestimate the power of your own influence. So the fact that you could be vulnerable and put a post like that up there helps so many people. And you're right. Now just replicate that by thousands of people. And there's so many people in that community that want you to be as successful as you want to be successful.
Correct.
So, yeah, so that's an amazing point, Rob. Thank you for highlighting that.
For sure.
Lucas, how was the community involved in your deal?
Yeah, so with the connector deal, the borrower was SubTo, I'm SubTo Gator. The connectors I JV with were SubTo Gator Owners Club, and the lender was Gator. So that was like a full community deal.
You tapped
I know, right? And then I did a private money lending deal. Actually, it was like the day after I did this deal. Connector was in Gator, and I actually got paid back today. So happy Valentine's Day, which is great. And then my second PML deal, my man Jason right here, was the TC and the connector.
Yeah.
So I mean, every single deal I've done so far, if not everyone, at least someone is in the community.
Yeah, and you make a good point, and that's why I always tell people you know one of the reasons why you want to connect with a TC, not just because of all the amazing stuff we do and we make your business easier and more efficient and cost you less money, but the biggest thing is we have a database of people who are borrowing, we have a database of people who are lending, we have a database of people who are buying, but more importantly, we have a database of people who are paying back, right, on a regular basis. And so that information is really important to bubble to the surface to say, hey guys, there's great lenders out there. We're putting all the protections in place that Pace and the community taught us, but there are great lenders out there, and I can show you. And that's similar to what I did with Lucas is, I have a great borrower out there. He's been doing this for several years now. And so I just, I underwrote the deal. I did the background. I TC it to make sure he's protected on the back end. And then I present a package to him that says, is this something you would be willing to invest on? And like you told everybody earlier, if I would put my, own money in it, yes, because, that's your exit strategy. And so you were very clear that, okay, great. If this goes south, this is my property and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So
And I'm pretty sure I asked you, would you put your money into this?
That was your exact question, and I appreciate that. That's an honest question. I gave you an honest answer, and the honest answer was yes, and it was for two reasons. One, because I've been working with this client for so long, I've seen him pay off lender after lender after lender. But what he's doing is in a great market with a great exit strategy, which is pad splits, and he's just crushing it right now. So yeah. So, Lucas, how would you say the community impacted your life?
I mean, I would say it's really pushed me to get outside my comfort zone. And it's just like when you get outside your comfort zone, all you get is encouragement and praise. There's just no negativity. And then it helps you to push outside your comfort zone even more.
Right.
I never posted on Facebook. All of a sudden I was posting on Facebook. And people are like, oh, this is amazing, keep doing it. And then, I never thought I would be on a podcast. I'm on a podcast. I never thought I would be doing a Facebook Live. I'm doing a Facebook Live. And you just keep, you kind of keep just going and going. So just the support and kind of always pushing each other. Because, this stuff is hard and you need to push yourself. And there's, if you're not uncomfortable, like you're not going to get to where you want to go. And so just having people that, are comfortable with being uncomfortable is just super great.
Yeah. And I just want to put an exclamation point on what you said. Yes, this is not easy. However, if you're willing to put in the work, there are people in this community that can help make it easier. And that's been very powerful. Right. To me, this was a crash course, and you don't have to do it alone. Like nobody ever in SubTo, nobody ever talks about the solopreneur, right? Everybody knows that everybody has a value, everybody gets a seat at the table, and everybody eats. And so it's just been an incredible journey so far. And I've only been in it for 2.5 years. So amazing, absolutely amazing. We got a question. Is there a way to overcome a 1031 objection as far as selling wanting full amount at once? I believe pasted a video on this one. I don't know if he did it in the SubTo group or in the on his YouTube channel. I think there's one on his YouTube channel where he does talk about that, the 1031 objection. I don't know. Do you guys want to chime in on that one?
Yeah, I never did a 1031 exchange before, and I've had sellers that pretty much wanted to go ahead and do the 1031 to get that money, tax purposes, things like that. But for the most part, those people right there, I really don't know how you would pretty much handle that because they have a certain way that they want to do it. But I mean, we've closed on them. And those people just usually just take that money and go ahead and place that money into another property. It's all about tax purchases, right? So
yeah,
and I guess it depends on the objection that they're handing you. You know what I mean? What exactly are they saying?
Yeah, true. And but I swear I pasted a post or a video on this because I remember this exact thing where he said, hey, there's a way to structure this where you don't have to give him the whole amount at once. I thought that's what he said, but anyways, the information's out there. So I would say post your question in the community, depending on which community you're in, whether it's the free group or the SubTo group, and you'll get some really amazing people that'll step up and answer your questions. It really is a cool community.
Yeah, for sure.
So Rob, how would you say SubTo has impacted your life?
I met some of my best friends here in this community. You know what I mean? I've been here since 2021. So again, everything from doing deals with people, helping buying properties off of people, helping, first timers get their deals across the finish line, borrowing money, lending money. We've pretty much touched into it all. And again, I've met people I've met back in 2021, and these guys are some of my closest friends. So it's a great community, man. It's a ton full of people again that's just willing, ready, and able to help you. You just got to basically just raise your hand and just let them know what you're in need of, and it's going to be somebody in that group that's going to be able to meet that need for sure.
Yeah. And it's usually a group of somebody's. It's just you get a bombardment of input.
Sure.
So Rob, we would have to admit there's plenty of 2025 left. So what's on deck for you and your team and your business? What does 25 look like for you?
Yeah. So right now I'm focusing on building my portfolio a lot more this year. Closing on a whole lot more SubTo deals. I just closed on my third SubTo deal just for this year alone. We're on track just far as our flips. We're not doing a whole lot of heavy major renovations this year.
Right.
I'm through with the, tear downs and, the $150,000 rehabs, more so cosmetic renovations. It helps us because my team is already fast. We pretty much already have a system dialed in. So we're really good at getting in and out of these properties. So now we're going to be able to do a lot more, with a lot less. So we're looking for cosmetic renovations, looking to do a lot more, mainly SubTo owner finance deals. And we're on track. We're on track to do, times 3 what we did last year, because it's going to be less, work in regards to a lighter load than what we've carried on all of our other flips that we've done last year. So right now we're just picking up a lot of cosmetic in and out type of renovations, and just picking up SubTo and owner finance deals, building up that portfolio.
I love that for you. I can totally see you doing that. So that's pretty exciting. You'll have to make sure to keep posting on social media and let us know how things are going.
Oh, for sure, man.
Lucas, my friend, what's on deck for you for the next year?
Yes, sir. Well, I'm planning to quit my job. I don't know exactly when, but I feel it, and I know that it's going to happen. So working on, building business credit so I can continue to be a private money lender. I'm also focusing on the dispo side of things, to kind of be like a bird dog / help wholesalers dispo their deals. Also, going to a couple events that I haven't really been to a real estate event yet. Going to a PML mastermind in Atlanta with Alexis Morgan, Abraham Gray, then going to Squad Up Summit. That's going to be awesome. And then I'm able to, I got a day with Pace in May. And then also part of the Squad Up ticket, I'm doing some multifamily challenge in December. So may need to ask you some questions about that. But yeah, I mean, I'm just going all in. There's no holding back. And we're going to get it in 2025.
I love that. And I'm excited for you because, I've got to spend some time with Alexis. I was talking with her in a multifamily community, and she's incredibly intelligent and she's a good teacher. Her and Abraham together are a really good partnership. So you're going to get a lot of value out of that event.
Yep.
And I do the same thing. I kind of spread out what I want to focus on for the next year as well. At the start of the year, saying, okay, what live events do I want to go to, and what speakers do I want to support? So yeah, that's really cool. I love that. So Lucas, what would you say? Oh, it looks like we got a question. I'm negotiating with an owner of a 17-unit apartment complex in Denver. After the PITI, the property wouldn't bring in about $14,000 profits and a lot of room to raise rent and renovate. Is this a deal we're trying to wholesale, or what's the highest down payment you think buyer put down? It's straight seller finance deal. Well, the cool thing about straight seller finance is you can be as creative as you want to be. Just one of the things to keep in mind in the multifamily space, you're buying a business versus buying a piece of real estate. So understanding what the current operating income is and what kind of cap rate you're willing to buy at, and then what kind of debt you're trying to get, whether you're going to bring in investors or bank, a combination of PML, or there's a bunch of Lucas outstanding questions that need to be answered. But you're definitely on the right path because you're looking for those creative deals. So get in, one of the Facebook groups and start asking questions and start jumping on Zooms with people, and you'll be surprised how many people are willing to jump out and help. I don't know if you two want to add anything to that.
Yeah, I would let somebody that specialize in multifamily underwrite it. Like, get somebody to underwrite it for sure.
Yep.
Because, get multiple eyes on it. That way you make sure that you're getting a good deal. And then somebody that's underwriting is also going to give you multiple different options. And like, Jason made mention of, you can get as creative as you would like to, but definitely get eyes on it and get someone to underwrite it for you.
Yeah, for sure. And you can also JV with someone that, is trying to acquire it. And, for bringing them the property, you can get maybe, a stake in the property or a pretty, good finder's fee. So there's definitely, a lot of ways to make sure you get paid and also kind of learn how to do it all.
Yeah. And for those of you out there who want access to good underwriters, Top Tier Underwriting has certifications for multifamily and single family. So reach out to the Top Tier Underwriting folks and get a list of who's a certified multifamily underwriter. You can start asking them questions too, and see if you can partner with one of them. Great point, Rob. Thank you. Okay. So Rob, let me ask you this. What would you say to somebody who's on the fence about joining this community?
Yeah, man, you can take the steps or you can take the elevator. The elevator is a whole lot more, you get there a whole lot more, here's the thing, right? Like somebody was saying this and it was just like, and I was talking to someone within the SubTo community within a comment the other day, and it was just saying how, I'm going to get there. I need to show myself grace. And right now I'm kind of just, have that watching YouTube and then just watching all the videos, analysis, paralysis type of situation going on. And it's just like, you have to get off the fence. You have to start the race, right? So you don't have to figure it out all on your own. If I would have just applied that simple thing in the beginning of my career, it would have saved me so much time, blood, sweat, and tears. So I think it's so vital that if you're on the fence, like get mentored, get coaching, period. Like even if it's just like one of them situations to where you're not necessarily drawn to a certain community coach or whatever, but you need to be able to get with someone that can help you to get to what you're looking to accomplish a lot faster than what you would do on your own. So yeah, my mentorship and just getting with the right coach, coach mentorship. And that's the beauty of it too, because that's two different roles. You follow what I'm saying? You just need somebody to glean to that's for the most part who has gone there before. And the beauty of it, this community have a bunch of people who you can glean to that's already accomplished the very thing that you're looking to accomplish.
I love that. That is perfect. That's a great point. I love that. Lucas, what about you, my friend? What would you just say somebody who they're standing right in front of you, they're on the fence, they're on that verge of making that decision? What would you say to them?
I would say you got to do it because no one has ever made money by themselves. Every single transaction, there's a person is involved. You just can't do it yourself. And there's already this community here that is built to do this. And, you just you need to get around the right people. If you hang around people that just kind of do their 9 to 5 and coast through life, then that's what you're going to do. But if you start hanging around people that, oh man, Jason is raising money for multifamily, then all of a sudden kind of everything around you starts, rising up. And you really just gotta hang around the people who you want to be. Yeah.
I've said this before on here. Making money is fun. Making money with friends is even more fun. So Lucas, how can people connect with you? People are going to want to connect with you after this interview. You're doing amazing things. How can they connect with you?
Yeah, I would say the best way is on Facebook. Just Lucas Ludgate. Send me a friend request and definitely send me a message along with the friend request to just kind of introduce yourselves. And yeah, I'm more than happy to get on any Zoom call, whatever. Just try to get to know each other because you just never know where a connection's gonna go. You may know somebody who knows somebody, and you're like, man, I've been looking for that person for a year, and now I found him. So you just never know.
Thank you, Rob. What about you, my friend? How can people find and connect with you?
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all the YouTube, pretty much all the platforms I'm on there is Rob Van Harris.
Oh, perfect.
My last name, yep, Rob Van Harris. I think on TikTok I'm Rob Van Harris 2, the number 2. So all the rest of the platforms is Rob Van Harris.
Perfect. I love it. Hey, you guys, thank you so much. This is like my favorite day of the week where I get to hear really cool stories like this and I get to facilitate it. So much fun. And the fact that it was Valentine's just puts the icing on the cake.
Absolutely. I concur. That was such a joy to listen to the both of you. I love the stories that you told. And I loved all the takeaways too, because, we were talking about how there's really endless opportunities within the community because people are always going to need one of two things: time or money. So if you're able to help somebody out with that, you're always going to be a resource. And everyone has these skills to contribute because you just have to uncover what those skills are that are going to complement the people that you want to work with. So just really, really loved those takeaways. Thank you so much for, spending this hard-earned time, especially on Valentine's Day, because I know y'all have loved ones that are probably wanted to spend some time with you. So thanks for taking the time out of your day. And one more thing before I let everyone go. Lucas, you mentioned earlier that you're going to Squat Up Summit, but I have to ask the rest of you, who all here is going to Squat Up?
Oh yeah, my tickets is already paid for.
Nice.
Paid for. The flights is already paid for. We already we in the building for sure.
Very cool. I'm in the process of having to move some things around. I'm closing on an RV park the first week of March, and so I've got to do a bunch of turnover and train staff. So I'm working on it. But if I was free, I would definitely go. I've heard nothing but amazing things about Squat Up.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of like getting in the right rooms and being around those people that want to lift you up, that is a great place to start doing that. So I'll go ahead and leave a link to look at the ticket prices for Squat Up Summit if you're able to, and in Texas in a couple of months. So with that, I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your Friday and that you have a wonderful Valentine's Day.
Thank you, Alex. We appreciate you.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.